Okay, we're not taking a break for now. We'll just focus on the markets. The Nifty has opened with a good gain of almost 0.8% as we were telling you. So 7,900 on the Nifty is holding, and the mid-caps are actually now picking up some pace. So the mid-cap index is up about 1%. But there's a lot of buzz in the housing space and housing finance space because of the RBI news flow that came in from yesterday. Vikas Oberoi, the chairman of Oberoi Realty, joins us on the phone line to discuss all the developments over there. Vikas, good morning and thank you for taking the time out and speaking with us. Yesterday, the RBI announced some cheaper loans for low-cost housing and also for lower value home loans. What's the sense you're getting about whether this would in any way aid demand in the sector?
Hi, good morning. This will do two things. Firstly, it will bring down the deposit rate. So obviously people will not find it that attractive to continue to put money in the bank. This also will, have more disposable cash in the hands of people who will probably not find putting this money in the bank, as attractive as they did earlier. You're looking at clearly probably, anywhere between 10 and 15% less from what they were earning, let's say, prior to the rate drop. The other effect will be that even borrowing costs will come down. Though RBI has just put 50 basis points, banks are getting ready to push as much as maybe 100 and 125 basis points. Banks have the money. I mean, if you really see, they only want quality, borrowers. And I would say that the home loan borrower is probably the most secured borrower any lender can expect. There's literally no foreclosure there. So, I mean, it's secured. Having said that, I clearly see that demand now picking up. And it's also about the sentiments. It's just not, it's just not that the rate has come down. It's also that now people feel that, this is like a step in the right direction, and it'll open up the market, I feel, yes.
Okay. Can you just describe a little about your Borivali project? That's the big thing for Bombayites. What kind of, flats are on offer, and what kind of demand have you seen?
One is really fortunate. It's really one of the most anticipated projects as far as customers go. They've really, we've had very good inquiry, very good demand for that, and people are like literally waiting. We internally are hoping to launch this around Dussehra, which is about anywhere between 18th and 22nd of October. We're quite ready. We've got all the plans ready. We don't want to kind of speculate on what price. We're still working that last bit, what should be correct for the market. And, we know there is demand at a particular price. So we are kind of debating what should we push in and how should we make it very attractive for everyone to buy.
Okay. So in terms of your own targets, Vikas, what kind of growth do you see for the business? Because, the stock is up almost 20% this month in anticipation of this Borivali project. And last quarter, you had a very strong performance with a 20% growth in revenues. Can you give us a sense of what the quarterly revenue run rate could look like for the company, given that you have so many new launches?
I don't want to get into specific numbers and sound speculative. All I want to say is that, for very long, our company had only one project, literally, which was our Goregaon project. Today, we have the central suburbs, the Mulund project, that is now started giving us cash. We will now have Borivali. Our Worli project will start shortly, as in, will be formally launched shortly, somewhere around December. So even that, starts giving us cash. So literally, we were like drawing water out of one well. We've got now 3 more added to it. So we genuinely see that this is a big flip for our company.
Okay. But isn't there a constant refrain that there are unsold houses? I mean, it's a problem in perhaps more in the NCR region, but even in Mumbai, there are constant reports there are about 1 lakh unsold units, and about 90% of them are over that 1 crore figure. Don't you think that will bedevil the sales?
I have a very simple take on this. In fact, this is one of my favorite topics. When they say that this is, stock, what do they call stock as stock? I mean, something that I haven't even started building upon. I mean, there's so much more to... in fact, let me tell you that the entire so-called inventory in Borivali, which I have not even started, is now reflecting as stock in the minds of, these so-called brokers. So I only want to say that what is really stock? I mean, today a ready apartment in Mumbai is literally, not available. Or if you want to go and buy an apartment, it's so easily sold. So I personally, want them to define what is really stock. Stock is something that you can buy off the shelf and consume it. Today there aren't many apartments. Yes, a lot of people are promising that they'll build. There's a lot to be done. Merely buying a plot or probably announcing to the world that I'm going to do a project is not just it, Okay. There is a lot that it takes for us to kind of bring it to finality.
Okay, can you explain to us, how this RBI reducing the risk weights applicable to lower value home loans, how would that impact a company like yours? Will it help you in terms of greater access to developer funding? Can you just throw some light on that?
We are not in the low-cost housing, so I wouldn't say that...
But this is not only for low cost, right? It's also for low value home loans. So
exactly. So we are not either low cost, neither low value. I mean, our apartments are a bit more expensive, though I would love to get into that sector. If the economics work. But again, like I said, that, real estate is more driven by sentiment. People have the money. It's just about if the external environment becomes more conducive or like it becomes more positive, people will come out. Any buyer writes the biggest check of his life. So he wants to ensure that everything is correct. I mean, everyone is telling him that yes, he's doing the right thing, including y'all, So unless you guys go out and tell them, yeah, this looks like a good time for people to buy, everyone's very skeptical because it's like, this is my big check that I write. It's my last opportunity. So, the sentiments will change for sure because, everyone will want to buy and, you hear people left, right and center.
Can you tell us on an average this Worli project will be, at what realizations? I mean, what's the average rate over there now? And in Borivali also, what kind of realizations would you be looking at?
So the ticket price per apartment in Borivali is about, 45 crores. And, in Worli is about 45 crores. Okay. And in Borivali will be anywhere about 2 crores plus. So that's the segment that we are targeting in Borivali.
Is that comparable to what it was a year ago? Is it lower? Is it higher?
So, when we bought Borivali, we bought it with a clear mind that Goregaon projects sell at anywhere between 4 and 5 crores. So we wanted a product which would be in the western suburbs, but at half the price. And we really thought that we were very lucky to get Tata Steel property in the western suburbs, good location, bang on the highway, and one could then design smaller apartments plus sell them cheaper than what Goregaon is today.
All right, Vikas, we leave it at that. Now we know what we cannot afford, which is your apartments in Worli, which are going at 45 crores, not for people like us, right?
Well, let's get to our next guest. Umesh Revankar, the Managing Director of Shriram Transport Finance, is joining us.